It's called Motocross. Born in Europe between the wars, a new motorsport, tough men and fast motorcycles testing their mettle on natural terrain. Roger DeCoster, 5 times world champ, helped bring the sport to America in the 60s. In the 70s, DeCoster and his international counterparts taught the Americans painful lessons in how to go fast in the dirt. Mikkola, Robert, Wolsink, Janssen won all the races in America, but the local kids learned their lessons well. From upstate New York, the jammer, Jim Weiner, one of the first American stars. In Gary Semick's day, to finish as top American was a great honor. But by the days of Tony DeStefano and Jim Ellis, the national championship was the goal. And then came Bob Hurricane Hanna, America's first superstar, a brash young kid with little memory and no respect for his European elders. The motorcycles provide a measure of the evolution of the sport. The conventional forks of the 70s have given way to sophisticated upside-down suspension units. Air-cooled engines no longer in vogue. The modern-day power plant is liquid-cooled. And on the rear, the quaint old 3-inch travel spring shocks have given way to the modern monoshock with a full foot of travel. By the 80s, the tide had turned. Americans Brad Lackey and Danny Laporte won world championships. A new crop of stars like David Bailey were destined to dominate, not only in America, but around the world. Mark Barnett and the O Show, Johnny O'Mara, were products of a now thriving amateur sport in America. And by the time Rick Johnson and Jeff Ward developed their legendary rivalry, the message was clear. America owns motocross. Here in Gainesville, Florida, I'll bet the Chamber of Commerce would like us to believe the weather is like this every day of the year. Warm and sunny as thousands of fans flock into Gatorback Cycle Park for a red-letter day in American motocross.
Contenders are many. Not only Mike Kiedrowski, who so dominated this series last year, but also 3-time national outdoor champion Jeff Stanton, Mike LaRocco, and then the very, very competitive Jeremy McGrath, who won the 125cc event here last year in impressive style.
I've always ridden pretty good here. I mean, I like the hard pack, and it's choppy. It's not really big bumps, and there's some fun jumps out there. But, you know, last year I rode really good in 125, and I'm in the 250 class this year, and it's going to be a little bit tougher.
You know, this is where the bread and butter of motocross originates, is outdoor nationals. You know, that's where all the tough guys come from, Roger DeCosters and, you know, all the guys way before my era. You know, promoters are making more money in supercrosses, and we're putting on a show for 50, 60, 70,000 people, but this is where it originated. This is where the sport started.
It's a long series this year. There's 12 races, so that's going to be a big difference. And, you know, just my main goal here is to win that Gatorback, and I've won a lot of races here, and I'm going to go here and do the best I can and go out there and give those guys a run for their money.
We're ready for the start of the first national of the year. The gate is down. The charge is on to turn number 1. There you see all that dust. A big swoop around the outside, and looky here, it's going to be Brian Swink, number 10, who's got a wheel out in front. Now Kiedrowski comes back strong. Mike Kiedrowski showing us why he's the national champion.
As they drop down into the Gator pit here, Brian Swink is all over the back of Mike Kiedrowski. Look how aggressive these guys are attacking this track.
It's a long race, and yet they're obviously going for it hard on the first lap. Oh, Kiedrowski all the way out into that dirt bank. Back end swapped a little bit. Was he as close to crashing as it appeared there?
It was a little bit sketchy there.
Mike LaRocco looking to the inside line. Button leaves it wide open on the bottom. Oh, and LaRocco says, I'll take that, thank you very much. Jimmy left the door open, and it didn't take LaRocco long to capitalize there. So Button is now 4th. Here is your leader. That's Brian Swink. Swink has survived thus far without mistakes. He hasn't wilted in the Florida sun, as some predicted he might. He's taken the pressure from the Kawasaki team. and now he is just a couple of corners from victory. And listen to the fans cheering him on. It's a big moment to see a Florida boy do well on the national trail. Here comes LaRocco back at him for a final time, hoping perhaps that there's one more opportunity waiting there somewhere. But Swink has not made that mistake in this last half lap, and now he's headed for home. Up and over the finish line jump, and he's done it. Brian Swink wins the opening moto of the 1994 season. The victory celebration begins as the checkered flag falls. Let's go to Art Ekman with the moto winner, Brian Swink.
Brian, what a great battle. You had LaRocco putting the pressure on you all the way. You've seen what kind of pressure he can put on McGrath in Supercross.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've been known to be a weak rider, not very strong, but, you know, it's a hot national. It's kind of rough, and, you know, I think out there I kind of proved that I was pretty strong. I got a little arm pump middle way through, and then I picked it back up, so, you know, I'm happy I could be.
Field coming set, gate is down, second moto is underway, and on the charge, the break into turn number one. Let's look for Brian Swink. Nah, he didn't get that great start this time. Jimmy Button is there. 31 is Larry Brooks with a good start. There's number 16, John Dowd, the top independent rider, the top privateer in the series last year, gets a hole shot. Boy, there's a huge opportunity. There's the move by Swink, and a great move it was. Is he going to pull it off? Yeah, he gambled on that one, didn't he?
Well, he just scored it right by him and had the inside into the corner and controlled the turns.
But behind him, there's a dogfight going on. Number 34, Jimmy Button, comes up alongside John Dowd. This is for third and fourth, and let's see who's going to come out with the advantage. Again, track position, inside line, made it pay off. Jimmy Button moves up a spot. MATIASEVICH setting his sights on Brooks. Whoa, up and over, and a great pass, and Button crashed. In the same jump, Jimmy Button bails off hard. Now we finally see Mike LaRocco. Mike has moved up into fifth spot, and he's got fourth, third, and second right in front of him. So this is a great opportunity for LaRocco to cut through some traffic and pick up a lot of points. He's got Brooks with a good inside move. MATIASEVICH has taken his lines away from him and crowds him off the racetrack, and it looked like there was plenty of room to work with there. There's some bad blood between these two, eh?
Second place now, and it's LaRocco. He left him a little bit of room there.
Yeah, this time in the same place where he took Swink off the racetrack. MATIASEVICH knows he better not do that with Mike LaRocco. The laps are winding down. A second place finish for either of these guys is going to be a great accomplishment. There's the move by Dowd. Just shot through the inside and made it look easy.
Well, he's definitely made a statement here today, and he's going to win not only the overall, but he's going to put quite a few points between he and second place finisher.
There is the checkered flag. It's over, and LaRocco has won it at Gatorback Cycle Park. A good ride to second spot of the second moto for John Dowd.
Actually, I think some of the other riders didn't ride as good as race they did the first race. You know, my bike worked really good the first moto and the second. We made some changes, and, you know, it helped out a little more. So I just went out, rode a smooth race, and things went my way.
And here's the payoff, a total of 47 points for LaRocco. If you assume Kiedrowski and Stanton are his primary rivals, he's got a big lead, just as David Bailey pointed out. Here's the rest of your top 10 in the points.
The American Motorcyclist Association keeps the fun in motorcycling with benefits, activities, and by protecting your right to ride. For information, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN.
Have a look at the crowd. They've been gathering in this neck of the woods for 26 years for the Hangtown National. Already noted McGrath is not at the gate today after tweaking his knee in that Supercross crash. You see number 5, Jeff Stanton, right next to the starter's shack. The gate about to drop on the 26th running of the historic Hangtown National, Sacramento, California. We're underway. A fair bit of dust on the charge to turn 1. The whole shot belongs to the Yamaha of number 19, Mike Craig. If you've been following the Supercross series, you know the Yamahas are quickest to the first turn, and it seems to carry over here into the outdoor motocross. But he's going to have his hands full hanging on to that lead. Indeed, Stanton has only these two men ahead of him, number 19. Oh, and Kyle Lewis is on the ground. Stanton looking for some luck, found it right there as Michael Craig continues to lead But now Jeff Stanton is his pursuer. It is a Yamaha-Honda battle out front. It's a big enough problem to have one guy, Mike LaRocco, on your tail, but knowing that the champion is right there with him makes it doubly difficult. And here's LaRocco's move to the inside. He's got the line. That's a done deal. He will pass Lewis, and Kiedrowski comes right with him, and Lewis just had no response.
Stanton was coming down the hill. His bike was out of control. He flipped twice. The bike landed on top of him. They both got up, tried to restart it. It wouldn't fire. Stanton then walked away disappointed.
Meanwhile, the battle is on for the lead. Michael Craig has been caught by the Kawasaki's, and it's a three-man war up front. But it seems that Michael Craig has become vulnerable here. The Kawasaki's, oh, he's wide, and Mike LaRocco dives underneath to take the lead. LaRocco grabs the top spot, and Kiedrowski comes with him.
Got a pretty big points gap on Kiedrowski from round one, and he's already opened up a little lead here on the final lap. I think Kiedrowski's just going to try to get it together for the second moto.
Team Kawasaki, the powerhouse. There is the checkered flag. LaRocco and Kiedrowski, Team Kawasaki, dominate the first moto. Craig, Lewis, and Ward, the rest of the top 5. Swink, Healey, Dowd, Brooks, and AMARADIO, the top 10. Let's go to Art Ekman and the winner, Mike LaRocco.
Mike, the start puts you in excellent position for once, and you really handled it well. Great race.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I got off to a good start, and I really made it easy for him. I didn't have to pass that many people, and I just rode a smooth, consistent race, stayed up.
As the bikes prepare for the drop of the gate, Stanton is not the only wounded warrior out here. Between motos, Mike LaRocco fell very ill. We'll talk about that in a moment. Right now, the gate is down, the charge is on, and once again, into the lead goes number 19, Michael Craig on the Yamaha, and it's a carbon copy of the first moto. Kyle Lewis charges into second spot. Brian Swink is there in fourth. So once again, it is 3 Yamahas out front. The factory entry followed by the 2 privateers. There is Michael Craig hoping to win his first outdoor national moto of his career. Kyle Lewis in hot pursuit. There's Jeff Matasevich running third. He's under pressure from the reigning national champion, Mike Kiedrowski. Ooh, he left the door open, and through it goes Kiedrowski. Just ran a little wide. You got to keep that inside line covered. Here is his teammate, number 7, Mike LaRocco, working the inside on Brian Swink. Took Swink's line away.
Yep, he just came out of the corner, positioned himself on the inside, and, beat him to the corner.
Another wake-up call for Michael Craig. Kiedrowski is there. David Bailey commented earlier on how Kiedrowski looks to be in a perfect groove. Look at this. He's got position on Craig and makes the uncontested pass. Craig had no response as Mike Kiedrowski went by. A perfect example of what you were talking about earlier. A year ago, dust was a huge problem here during the California. Whoa! On the ground goes LaRocco, washed the front end, and he holds on to 5th spot. But Mike LaRocco's opportunity. Whoa! Trouble for Michael Craig, and Craig goes tumbling. Appears to have a lock on a podium finish today, even if Matasevich gets by, which Matasevich does. Matasevich on his own motorcycle, a full privateer effort, takes over the 2nd spot from Kyle Lewis. Mike Kiedrowski, a vending machine for championships. The factory's put in the money, and he spits out the titles. 2 in the 125 class, 1 in 250, 1 in 500, and he's on his way to a potential 2nd straight 250 championship with this victory this afternoon. The party is over at Hangtown, and the guy who takes home the hat and all the favors, Mike Kiedrowski, defeating Jeff Matasevich in the 2nd moto. Kyle Lewis, Mike LaRocco, and Larry Brooks rounding out the top 5. Button, AMARADIO, Antonez, Dowd, and Lawrence the top 10. Here's Art with a winner.
2 first last year. Would you call this last moto almost flawless?
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I didn't have a real, heavy pace going the whole time, but paced myself to win, and, that's what I did.
Kiedrowski wins the overall with 2nd and 1st place moto finishes. Here's your overall top 5. LaRocco, Kyle Lewis with a great run. Dowd, Matasevich, Button, Ward, and Craig round out the top 10. Congratulations, Kyle Lewis, now 4th in the points. Kiedrowski closes in on LaRocco, and Jeff Matasevich had a great 2nd moto. At Budds Creek Raceway in Maryland, the crowds are gathering now for round 3 of this chase for the 125 and 250 National Motocross Championship. Barring disaster, Kawasaki has a great opportunity here at the creek to open up an insurmountable advantage over the other factory teams. It's a very unusual championship in that regard. These guys are usually battling toe-to-toe right down to the last race of the year. There's that big, long starting gate. It's down. We're underway. Drag race is on to the first turn. I don't believe it. Number 7 is out in front through the dust. Do my eyes deceive me? No. Mike LaRocco has actually gotten a whole shot at an AMA motocross. That's pretty remarkable. So here's the battle for second, and that's number 53, Kyle Lewis, under attack from number 19, Michael Craig. Says, I'm tired. Whoa, wait a minute. Right back at him comes Lewis. This kid's really inspired. Uh-oh, here's trouble. That's Jeff Stanton. Stanton is on the ground again. For the second race in a row, a major crash. He appears to be a little stunned, although I think actually the official there is just encouraging him to stay put until the traffic goes by and they can determine just how serious this is. But Jeff Stanton, he's a bit dazed by it all, I think. Here is the man on the move at the moment, and this is McGrath. He has picked off Kyle Lewis. Kyle had pretty well lost touch with number 19, Michael Craig, in their race for second and third. And Jeremy just moved up and pounced on him. He's got a good race going here. Jeremy is on the attack. He is after Michael Craig. This is the section where Lewis took a bite out of Craig earlier, and Jeremy just drives around the outside. No muss, no fuss. I think Craig's in trouble. That was a good move. Here's a move by Kiedrowski. He's alongside, got the good line up the hill. Great pass.
That was nice. Kiedrowski he planned that coming down the hill before the corner and just took the line away. It wouldn't be surprising to see that he hasn't even used any of his tear-offs on his goggles.
He's cruising, wheeling past the checkered flag. Mike LaRocco with a big win here at the creek. Moto number 1 falls to LaRocco. Kiedrowski around McGrath to take second. Dowd and Healy are rounding out the top 5. Note that Kyle Lewis repassed Brian Swink. Let's hear from the winner, Mike LaRocco.
Mike, you told us earlier you'd love a pole-to-pole, a flag-to-flag type victory, and you got one.
Yeah, it's good for me. You need to get us some, winning laps under my belt so I get used to it. So I felt good out there. Hopefully I can do it again.
Ready for the start of the second moto. Let's see if LaRocco can do it again. I don't think so. He doesn't have the great start as they bust up over the top of the hill. There is Kiedrowski stuck almost in the back of the pack. A first turn tangle, and look at this. Ray Somo has the first hole shot of his national championship career. It won't last long. That's Craig around him on the inside, taking the lead. Jeremy McGrath is going to pressure Somo for second spot. Once again, Craig gets the great start, even though there was some doubt between motos whether he would even ride the race. So here's a move by Jeremy McGrath. He is after Mike Healy, and this is for second spot. He's around Michael Craig for the lead. Craig has again lost the pace. Jeremy McGrath leading a 250 National Moto. That's a career first. He's finally proving his worth. Craig moves over, LaRocco goes by, and Michael Craig is on his way to the back, I fear. Mike LaRocco is on his way to the front. And Mike LaRocco is ready to go after Jeremy McGrath. I was about to wonder if he was willing to take chances here today. There's your answer. He's around. Victory wheelie for Mike LaRocco, his second overall win in 3 outings. In the AMA 250 National Championship, he wins the second moto over McGrath, MATIASEVICH, Kiedrowski, and Lewis. Dowd, Button, Lawrence, DeHoop, and Brooks round out the top 10. Good day for Jeremy, second behind LaRocco. Kiedrowski comes from behind for third overall. MATIASEVICH and Dowd lead the privateers in the overall results. Lewis, Lawrence, Brooks, DeHoop, and Somo. Let's hear from the winner.
Mike LaRocco taking time to sign some shirts as he waits for us. Mike, what an afternoon. My goodness gracious, dominating like that.
Yeah, it felt good today. Finally got through Butts Creek with a little luck, and feels good.
That's right. You returned to a site where you just didn't want to remember.
Yeah, I had a little series of bad luck here, and I'm glad that's over.
Great win for Mike LaRocco. As we look at the point standings, any final thoughts on what we've seen here at the Creek today, David?
Well, the battle seems to be shaping up between the two Mikes, Kiedrowski and LaRocco on Kawasaki. They've got control of the series, but LaRocco keeps padding that lead, and Kiedrowski's got a lot of catching up to do.
From high overhead, this is the view of High Point Raceway, Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. Crowd pouring in for round 4 of the AMA National Motocross Championships. The national champion, Mike Kiedrowski, prepares for the challenge of his teammate, Mike LaRocco. Team Mike on the green bikes, ready to do battle with privateers like Kyle Lewis here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. LaRocco leading this championship by a comparatively healthy 17 points. Dowd, Lewis, and MATIASEVICH in a tight battle for top privateer honors. It's proven to be a pretty nice day here. Warm, but not oppressively hot as we prepare for the drop of the gate on the first moto, and we're underway. And right off the bat, we've got trouble at the starting line. 2 riders down as the field go hammering off into turn number 1. Back on a factory bike and back from injury, but down in the dirt at the start. Jeremy McGrath jumps out front. Hey, looks like Supercross as the reigning Supercross champion on the Honda number 2 jumps in front of number 19, Michael Craig, a couple of guys we're accustomed to seeing out front. Michael Craig under a lot of pressure from number 1, Mike Kiedrowski, who jumps right by and takes over the number 2 spot. And now Kiedrowski clearly is looking for the opening, comes up alongside. This will be the long way around. Actually runs outside the flag, marking the edge of the racetrack, back and cannot complete the pass. Up front here goes Kiedrowski inside, drives across the bow, almost runs it off the berm, makes the pass on Jeremy McGrath. Wow, what a move by Mike Kiedrowski. The man on the move is right here, Mike LaRocco. Bad starts, his downfall this season, making up for those bad starts, providing some of the most spectacular action of the Supercross and Motocross season. And so let's see what Craig will do. Will he try to hold back LaRocco? You see they are still no more than 20 yards behind Jeremy McGrath as LaRocco indeed makes the pass. If LaRocco stays behind McGrath, if LaRocco passes McGrath, and he's about to do that, he's alongside. Boy, he made that look easy.
He just rode right around him. It's so weird to see Jeremy ride so well indoors, and then these guys ride circles around him out here.
And right now it's all in the favor of this Kawasaki rider. Mike Kiedrowski, sitting on a comfortable lead, takes the checkered flag and wins the first moto here at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, some 6 seconds back to the second place man Mike LaRocco. McGrath a solid 3rd. Craig is 4th. Button held off Swink to claim 5th spot. Rounding out the top 10, Swink, Dowd, Lewis, Dubach, and Brooks.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave my Kawasaki the way it is. The Bridgestone tires were hooking up great, and the power was just perfect and just delivering it everywhere I needed it. So I'm just going to leave it the same for the second moto.
The field at the line for the second moto. Gate is down, charged to turn 1. LaRocco start the question mark. He's out of the gate a whole bunch stronger this time. Look here, it's Doug Dubach who leads him to the first turn. 34, Jimmy Button is up in there. Michael Craig, but LaRocco in 5th spot. A whole heck of a lot better than where he started the last race. Number 2, McGrath, trying to make an early move. Here comes Kiedrowski up into the picture. In fact, he is around LaRocco. A good move by Kiedrowski early to get his teammate behind him. Where Kiedrowski made the key pass in the first moto. Yeah, that was a piece of cake.
That was real nice.
Eventually the inside will come back to you. Note that Kiedrowski is right there and trying to do the same to Dubach. He does not want to let Mike LaRocco get away. In fact, Kiedrowski cannot afford to be behind LaRocco. He needs to be in front of him. Mike LaRocco and Mike Kiedrowski separated by 2 to 3 bike lengths. running third and fourth. Oh, and change all that. Jimmy Button stops on course. He was the second place man. Jeremy gave up an entire race, 2 motos. Oh, look at this. Down the inside comes LaRocco. First time we've seen it all day. McGrath went to the outside. The door was wide open. LaRocco says thank you very much and leads the race.
Well, that's weird, you know. Perhaps LaRocco, he'd been using that outside. Maybe Jeremy felt like, hey, this must be a better line. Figured he'd take it away from him, and LaRocco just went right to the inside and took that instead.
Kiedrowski has closed. Is alongside McGrath. He's going to try to take that Kawasaki freight train to 1-2. The fans go crazy. It's tight in the top 3. Who's going to come out of it with second spot? Give it to Kiedrowski. We're back at Mount Morris. Mike LaRocco leading Mike Kiedrowski. Ooh, LaRocco gets her a little sideways. Up the inside goes Kiedrowski. Makes the pass. Mike Kiedrowski reversing the order of the 2 team green bikes here as they come back down the hill. Kiedrowski headed for home. LaRocco in pursuit, but that pursuit now is pretty half-hearted. The checkered flag falls as Mike Kiedrowski sweeps at High Point Raceway, Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. A dominating performance for Motocross Mike. LaRocco second, McGrath, Craig, and Swink rounding out the top 5. The first 4 positions unchanged in each moto. Brooks, Button, Lawrence, Dowd, and Dubach the top 10. Here's Art.
Mike, once you made the pass, you held the lead all the way. Tell me about it on the backside.
Well, you know, I was sitting in third, and McGrath was leading, and me and LaRocco were both catching McGrath, and I kind of found a good line in the back where I could wheelie one of the jumps and stay a lot lower and then double through the double section. So, you know, I found that line, and LaRocco got around McGrath, and then I got around McGrath right over there and kind of out-jumped him on the jumps. And then the next lap, I pretty much did the same thing to LaRocco. And then from there on, I kept that same line, you know. But, yeah, I knew he'd be up there, you know, pushing hard the whole time, and I was just going to my hardest, too.
Well, it's 6 points closer after today. Kiedrowski takes the overall with a 1-1 sweep. LaRocco, McGrath, Craig, and Swink, your top 5 in overall points. Button, Brooks, Dowd, Dubach, and Lawrence, the top 10. Kiedrowski continuing to close in on LaRocco with a big victory here today.
Jeremy, you're the man.
3 days of rain have interrupted a midsummer Massachusetts heat wave, but now the clouds are gone, the sun is back, the temperature is rising, and the track conditions are perfect here at the unique circuit known as Motocross 338.
The track here in Southwick is very sandy, as we've mentioned, and it gets extremely rough as the day wears on. It's going to really take its toll on the riders.
And it has a very interesting starting area. Art Ekman tells us how they'll come off the gate here.
Just when you think we've seen every start possible in motocross, along comes Southwick. It's cement, hard as a rock, diabolical to everything a dirt bike was made for.
At Southwick, Massachusetts, Jeremy McGrath prepares for battle. He carries number 2 in the Outdoor Nationals. He's recently locked up the AMA Supercross Championship. He's playing catch-up, as you can see, from 4th place in the standings as the Kawasaki guys, Mike LaRocco and Mike Kiedrowski, lead it. 11 points is the difference between the 2 green bikes. John Dowd, 3rd in the standings as we await the start and the launch off that unusual concrete starting gate. Without that, they just dig a hole in the sand. The gate is down, the charge is on. Here they come to turn 1, and it looked like a pretty good start for McGrath. A big tangle in the back of the pack swallows up number 19, Michael Craig. He's got a lot of catching up to do. It's going to be number 2, McGrath, number 10, Brian Swink, and also getting out quickly, number 16, John Dowd. As you predicted it for the home fans, he's going to get that great start and go after the national gun. It's Jeremy McGrath out front. He really has this racetrack wired, and here is an increasingly intense battle for second spot. Swink is being run down by John Dowd.
Well, this is really rough. Just a long, long corner.
Oh, big mistake. Swink over the jump, kind of hangs a right. Got the front end out of shape, and Dowd goes by, Kiedrowski goes by, and Brian Swink will slip from 2nd to 4th.
And I think what happens is that probably Kiedrowski senses an opportunity. If he can put Dowd behind him and possibly catch McGrath, he can put a cushion on Mike LaRocco, who's still caught in traffic.
There was the opportunity of the inside line for Kiedrowski, and he made it stick. He followed Dowd for a while and then completed the pass, and so John Dowd slips to 3rd. Meanwhile, Jeremy McGrath working through the traffic, and number 1, Mike Kiedrowski, closing in on him. Kiedrowski, having worked his way around John Dowd, is now gobbling up the interval to the leader. Oh, and look at this. He's right up alongside.
Well, what he did here was the same thing that John Dowd did to him. Kiedrowski tried to pass him on the inside, the line that McGrath was using, and Kiedrowski obviously learned his lesson, rode right around him the same way.
You know that Mike LaRocco has moved up to 3rd. Here's the evidence on the racetrack. He is 3rd and closing on Jeremy McGrath, who takes a look over his shoulder and then takes exactly the same line that he took against Kiedrowski. And with Mike Sr. looking on, Mike LaRocco rockets by to take 2nd spot. But there is what Kiedrowski needed, the checkered flag. He wins the first moto and nibbles another 3 points off that point lead. Kiedrowski and LaRocco the top 2. McGrath beats Dowd to the line. John Dowd, the top privateer. Jeff Stanton finishes 5th. Here's the rest of the top 10. And let's go down to Art Ekman with a worn-out winner.
Winning the first moto, Mike, you couldn't have written the script any better, except you got to get this bike back there quick.
Yeah, you know, the sand really burns up clutches, and that's what happened to mine. And I just barely, babied it across the finish line. I'm lucky I had a pretty good sized lead, and get it fixed for the next moto and go out there and do the same thing.
Here at Southwick, the sign is sideways, the gate is down, there's the launch, and the charge is on. Into turn number 1, and look at this, Mike LaRocco's got himself up front. A bit of a tangle back here in the back of the pack, puts 2 men on the ground. But he's got to start, he's alongside Dowd. Wow, look at that line. LaRocco through the trees and out the other side to take the lead. Dowd is your number 2 man. There's number 2 McGrath in 3rd. Stanton is 4th. Jimmy Neese rides in the 5th spot. The rest of the field coming through for Stanton is the outside line up that straightaway. Kiedrowski cuts down to the inside and takes 4th spot away from Jeff Stanton.
If McGrath makes any kind of a bobble, he's going to have him.
Oh, he's not going to wait. Off that big jump, Kiedrowski leaps down the inside and blows right by Jeremy McGrath. I don't think McGrath expected to see it there. Kiedrowski with a terrific pass. Unless he can get around LaRocco, he'll end up even on the day because LaRocco will get the 3-point advantage here in the second moto. Up the inside goes Kiedrowski at the same corner where Stanton passed. Oh, and Kiedrowski is on the ground. Mike Kiedrowski kept the engine running. That was fortunate. As the checkered flag falls in moto number 2 here at Southwick, it has been his all the way, but for that little bit of contact with Kiedrowski, he was unchallenged. Dowd with a solid 3rd for the home folks. Stanton and McGrath round out the top 5. Here's the rest of the top 10 as we go trackside. Art Ekman is with the winner.
Mike, have you ever got a better start in your life?
Actually, I got one more of those this year, and I did kind of the same thing with the exception of no pressure.
Well, you did get big pressure from your own teammate. Take us through the scenario when you got together.
Yeah, I got in some lappers. He made up all the time on me he needed to, and tried passing me going down the hill. And I saw him on the inside. I said I wasn't gonna make it easy, and he latched onto me, and I kind of drug him down.
LaRocco and Kiedrowski each win a moto. LaRocco wins the tie-breaking 2nd moto to claim the overall. Dowd, McGrath, and Stanton round out the top 5. Good days for Swink, DeHoop, Lewis, Johnson, and Neese. In terms of the points, we are right where we were coming into this race. 11 points the gap between 1st and 2nd. John Dowd, 3rd in the race, 3rd in the points. Michigan is in the midst of a heat wave and drought, and the AMA National Motocross Series is at the midway point, and those 2 themes converge here at Red Bud Track and Trail, Buchanan, Michigan.
You can sum this place up in one word: jumps. The crowd loves the jumps, the riders love the jumps. You can't go wrong. These guys are flying high today.
We're just about set for the drop of the gate. Start of the first of 2 motos here at Red Bud Track and Trail. The gate is down, and the field come charging through the slop and the mud to turn number 1. And it looks like a hole shot for Yamaha-mounted Michael Craig. Number 19 jumps out front. Number 1, Mike Kiedrowski, the national champion, close behind. And Mike LaRocco, number 7, also has a good start. Uncharacteristically good starts for the green team. Big mistake there by Larry Brooks. He just about bailed off the thing, and here comes Kiedrowski to make the pass. He took advantage of what was a fairly minor bobble, actually, but it was enough to let Kiedrowski get alongside.
Here's the problem with Brian Swink. He's trying to get the bike shut off. Looks like he's trying to hit the kill switch.
Swink's on the ground. That engine is still running hard. He's trying to get the thing killed somehow. You can see now as he tries to pick it up, the bike's trying to jump out from under him. Boy, that is a frustrating moment. Look at that. The thing takes off. Swink can't get the throttles. Apparently the throttle is jammed open and he can't get the kill switch to kill it. But I think Brooks may be holding up LaRocco just a little bit. That has enabled Stanton to close. Here's the challenge from LaRocco. Tries a different line. Can he make the pass? Brooks will have more momentum, but he can't get back around, and so Mike LaRocco moves into second spot. Michael Craig the leader, Mike Kiedrowski second, Mike LaRocco third, and the gap from first to second is noticeably shrinking. But now Craig will take a different line. Oh, and not a very good line either. Kiedrowski goes by, LaRocco goes by, and in a heartbeat, Craig slips from first to third. Brooks try to hold off Ward, and this is a pretty interesting battle as well. Anytime teammates get together, you wonder how aggressive they're going to attack each other.
Yeah, well, you want to try to make a pass, you know, and be the top dog on the team, but you also want to try to keep it clean. And on this race,
Brooks over the handlebars. A huge tumble for Larry Brooks. Looked like the rear wheel just kicked up over a jump. Can't find his motorcycle. He got his bell rung pretty well. Perhaps he's got a spot all picked out. He continues to ride his own line, and oh, here he comes. He's up alongside. Oh, and they make contact, and Kiedrowski goes down. Mike Kiedrowski crashes. Mike LaRocco takes the lead. And Kiedrowski should be able to pick it up and continue in second spot, but you can bet there will be fireworks when this one is over. The local boy takes the checkered flag. He lives just across the Indiana border, and Kiedrowski right behind him. Oh, and Kiedrowski flicks his motorcycle at LaRocco after they cross the finish line. Ooh, you can bet the tempers are flaring now. The Team Kawasaki guys and the AMA officials jump in between them. I've never seen that before. Kiedrowski just stepped off the bike and launched it in LaRocco's direction. It in fact hit him. LaRocco wins the first moto from Kiedrowski. Stanton, Craig, and McGrath round out the top 5. Here's the rest of the top 10. Let's go to Art Ekman, our war correspondent.
Mike, your side of the story on a tremendously competitive race. I know he was just waiting for a mistake to be made, but what actually happened from your point of view?
Well, I wasn't making no mistakes the whole race, you know, and I knew he was right behind me, and I'd pull a little on him. Then he'd gain back up, and then the last turn, you know, he just came up from behind me and just hit my back end right when I was in the turn and made me just flip right over the bars practically, and then he rode right on the inside of me and took off. And, you know, I mean, we're both teammates and everything, and I try to pass him clean, and if he's going to do that every time we race, then, you know, I'm going to do it right back, but I'll do it on the track.
The AMA won't make a decision until they see our tape recordings of the actual incident with LaRocco and Kiedrowski out on the track. But Roy Jansen was telling me that what he saw with the naked eye was definitely more than aggressive racing, and possible fines might be levied at that time. But of course, retaliation is always wrong. Kiedrowski is his release of emotion will definitely cost him a few bucks. And now Roy Turner's job as crew chief and team manager, he's got to get these two guys ready to go for moto number 2.
Well, actually, the bottom line is they'll both pay a fine, Roy. The AMA has elected to take action against both riders. We'll get to that in a moment. Right now, we're ready to get down to the start of the second moto, and let's see if the fireworks will continue. The gate is down, the field is away, the charge to turn 1 is on, and we've got trouble. Rider down in the starting area, and now Jeremy McGrath is off in the first turn. Up front, number 1, Kiedrowski, number 7, LaRocco, swooped by the local boy Todd DeHoop, and another Michigander, number 10, Brian Swink, elbows inside LaRocco and shoves him back to 4th spot. Terrific action up front as Kiedrowski gets the jump on him. And number 10, Brian Swink, he's another Michigan boy who now lives in Florida, but cut his racing teeth up in this neck of the woods, and he's right in there challenging. He wants the lead from Kiedrowski, and he's got it for the moment. for the first time. Oh, and Kiedrowski is on the ground. Michigan boy Brian Swink leads the way. Indiana's Mike LaRocco comes up and moves by with a great pass. And hot on their heels is Jeff Stanton with the best national ride we've seen from him this season. Here is Stanton mounting a challenge on Brian Swink, and he'll take over second spot. Around the outside, Kiedrowski cannot complete the pass, but will he make it here? Yes, he does. There, he knows the kind of speed Kiedrowski has, and now he's close enough they can hear him.
Well, yeah, here comes Kiedrowski up the inside, and you know, he just caught Stanton too quickly for Stanton to be a factor in this battle. And third isn't bad, you know, but I'm sure he'd like to try to figure out a way to get back, back past Kiedrowski, not let him get away.
Everybody here is wondering what's going to happen now as Mike LaRocco is reeled in by Mike Kiedrowski. Oh, and LaRocco falls down. LaRocco just washed out the front end and continue to be the guys to beat for the championship. Waving to the crowd, Mike Kiedrowski takes the checkered flag, and the Red Bud Track and Trail National comes down to a split. We'll see the interval back to the second place finisher, a lapper in between them, as Mike LaRocco takes the checkered flag and figures, well, all things considered, I guess I'm happy to get out of here in one piece. The second moto results, Kiedrowski, LaRocco, Stanton, MATIASEVICH, and Button. We'll take a look at the rest of the top 10. Kiedrowski gets the overall based on the second moto win from LaRocco. Stanton third, MATIASEVICH fourth, Craig fifth, Lewis, Button, Ward, Dowd, and DEHOOP round out the top 10.
Just when it looked like you were going to come down to another confrontation with your teammate, Divine Justice took over or something like that, because he went down and all you had to do is hold your steady line.
Yeah, when I was behind him, I knew, I'm going to pass him clean, I'm going to pass him right, and we talked about it between motos, and we both agreed, hey, it's going to be a long year between us, and we don't want to start right now. So, I wasn't planning on where am I going to get him, or hit him or something like that, and I was going to pass him smooth somewhere. And he was riding fast, he made a mistake, and I closed up, and then he made another one and fell, and it's the only way I got by him.
The bottom line is that the point gap remains the same. LaRocco still leads by 11. The controversy between the Kawasaki teammates overshadowing the retirement announcement. The man on the left, Jeff Stanton.
The American Motorcyclist Association keeps the fun in motorcycling with benefits, activities, and by protecting your right to ride. For information, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN.
In terms of history, it is America's premier motocross track, the Unadilla Valley Sports Center in upstate New York. Over the years, all the greats have come here, from Roger DeCoster to Bob Hanna to Ricky Johnson.
Well, this is one of the last all-natural tracks. Other than Southwick, Massachusetts in the sand, this is as rough as they come.
And Art Ekman is standing by trackside with that big pre-race story produced by the Rough Track Conditions. Art?
Unadilla is one of this sport's treasured traditions. All-stars have gained their reputations here. The terrain is all natural, no man-made sections on this track. It's fairly exclusive, used only twice a year.
Here is the man that everyone has to catch. This is Mike LaRocco, the current leader in the championship standings, the dominant force in the series thus far. Coming in, he leads Mike Kiedrowski by 11 points, but that is not the story. The story is with Art Ekman.
We see the empty grid. It was reserved for Mike Kiedrowski, and that injury in practice was much more serious than even Mike thought. With us is Roy Turner. Roy, what was the problem now?
Well, just in practice, Mike was following some other riders, and a big rock got thrown up, and it hit his throttle hand on the third finger, and between the two knuckles, it shattered the bone in about 6 places. So basically, that's it for Mike for the series. He's out.
The whole series?
The whole series. That's an injury, basically. I mean, it's skin holding that together right now, that finger. So you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks probably before he's going to be able to be back on a bike.
Dave, we're just about ready for these machines to fire up without the defending champion.
Wow, what a story as we prepare to drop the gate on the first moto. That blows it wide open. That means that Mike LaRocco can hit the cruise control in terms of the championship. LaRocco's not inclined to do that because LaRocco's mind doesn't work that way. He didn't become the point leader by cruising. But the pressure is off as the gate goes down, and the Unadilla National is underway. Charge to turn 1. Yamaha will get there first. It is Larry Brooks out front. He's got number 2 right alongside. That's Jeremy McGrath. Larry Ward has a good start. Jeff Stanton is among the front runners. He's number 5. Not a great start for the point leader, LaRocco. Stanton wants that position and finally finds a way around. Went to the outside and took the spot from McGrath, and McGrath has no response. He wasn't able to get back underneath, and so now Jeff Stanton will go to work on Larry Brooks.
Here he is again, looking on the outside. He's going to put him on the inside of the next corner, and it looks like he's got it.
And Brooks suddenly doesn't look as sharp as he did the first lap. Stanton made the pass, Stanton going faster, but I think part of that is Brooks slowing down. I know it's a little tough to tell because there are bumps everywhere, but there are bumps and then there are bumps. And again, Brooks finds the worst of them, and by goes Jeremy McGrath to take over second spot. McGrath does not want to let Jeff Stanton get away. Uses the widest line out there. Is he going to get around? Yeah, he takes over third position. So I guess if you got to give up a spot, it's better to give it to your teammate than to somebody else. Brooks surrendering it, goes from first to 4, and McGrath is on the ground. Jeremy McGrath. I think he may have crashed into a hay bale as he came up over the top of the hill. His chest protector straps are broken. He's going to tear that off and just throw it away. Man who's found some speed right now is number 7, Mike LaRocco. He's challenging Brooks, who again makes a bobble, and basically LaRocco's just able to drive right by him and into 4th position. Here comes Mike LaRocco. He's working on Jimmy Button. This is for 3rd place. And LaRocco has the speed, has the line, and has the position. And Mike LaRocco on the charge has closed to the rear wheel of Jeff Stanton, and he wants that spot. Stanton is trying his hardest to keep him at bay. This is good, and they're into lap traffic. That's probably going to be a factor here. You've not only got to worry about the flying rocks and the number of berms and the one you want to pick in each corner, but now they have these slower guys to deal with. This is it. LaRocco's got him. He moved to the inside. Stanton took the outside line, and the inside was better, and Stanton has been relegated to 2nd spot. LaRocco with a remarkable charge. He's pretty much on cruise control now. He's been blasting through that berm right there pretty aggressively the last couple of laps, and now he just kind of eased up to it, gave it a little nudge, and brings her to the checkered flag. Mike LaRocco, the man who would be champion of the 250 Outdoor National Series, wins again over Jeff Stanton, Larry Ward, Brian Swink, who passed Jimmy Button on the last lap to take 4th spot. Here's the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, I messed up the start. I didn't have the R's up enough, and I didn't get out real good. So, I had some work cut off for me to make some passes. I took my time, without my teammate out there getting away. I had time to do that. So, I just rode my own race, used my head, and things worked out.
Moto number 2 at Unadilla. The bikes line the starting gate, the crowd on their feet anticipating the drop of that gate. And with that drop, we're underway. Charge is on to turn number 1. They narrow down into the funnel. Larry Brooks, number 31, has another great start. In fact, he's going to pull the lead on Jeff Stanton. It is a traffic jam in the back of the pack. There goes Stanton into the lead. And now, there's trouble. A big pile up, dog pile, in fact. And in the middle of it, number 16 is John Dowd. This is a good race. It is for 2nd spot. Kyle Lewis and Mike LaRocco mixing it up, rattling handlebars, testing each other. Here they go to Gravity Cavity. LaRocco wants to make the move. He's up alongside and around. A great pass for Mike LaRocco. Swink, on the other hand, is moving forward. Remember now, he's just passed Brooks and is going after his teammate, trying to pick up that 1 spot, and he's definitely looking for a pass. He's looking for another line here. He's up alongside, shows him the wheel, tries to cut back underneath. This is the bright, and he hit him. They collide. Number 10, Swink, bounced up over the berm, slammed into the side of Button, and Button may be hurt.
Oh, there he makes a pass right down the inside. That was a nice. I think he caught Stanton by surprise. I mean, Stanton knew he was there, but I don't think he felt threatened.
As he turns for home now, sort of threading his way through the lappers. counting the points and probably encouraging Dad to go home and reread that clause in the contract that specifies exactly how much the championship bonus is. Mike LaRocco wins it over Jeff Stanton, Jeremy McGrath, Kyle Lewis, and Larry Brooks. We'll take a look at the rest of your top 10 here today. Okawara and Austin are the new names there.
Except for the heat, and I know the energy expounded. It looked like another ride in the park.
Yeah, actually, it was just fun out there. I went out there and got a decent start, so, I made the passes I had to make, raced with Jeff a little bit, and, I got in the lead and just had a little fun.
Been a great career for Jeff Stanton and a good run here today. He's not a factor in the points. Kiedrowski out of it after today. LaRocco will run away with the championship. Here's your top three. Dead center. LaRocco continues to lead. Stanton and Swink share the honors. Hey, how do you top a deal like this? The weather is perfect, the crowd is huge, the stage is set for round 8 of the AMA National Motocross Championship Series. Let's take a look at the racetrack, David.
Well, just when you thought you'd seen all the jumps you could see, they brought in more. This is basically an outdoor supercross track.
Big, long racetrack, all man-made, basically, a flat piece of Ohio real estate that they have gouged with the bulldozer and turned into a big supercross track in a lot of people's minds. And well, Jeremy McGrath is probably as motivated here as we've seen him all season.
Well, he's coming off a disastrous past couple of rounds, crashing in the first corner.
So the riders come to the gate with a big crowd awaiting the drop of that gate and the kickoff of the Kenworthy Motocross Park Outdoor National. The gate is down, the charge is on. Here they come to the first turn. Dowd's got a great start on number 16. Obviously eager to impress the Yamaha Corps. And as they make the turn, here's Jeremy. No surprise there.
Well, he just ducked under on the first corner there, and I think Dowd drifted a little wide, and already you can see evidence of it's a supercross style track, and right now Jeremy looks really relaxed and in control.
Ward has a good start. He's up to third, so a couple of Yamahas are right there poised and ready to challenge the Honda of Jeremy McGrath. Check this one out. This is for fourth. The man on the move, number 34, Jimmy Button of Team Suzuki, has come up to challenge Jeff Stanton. Challenge and pass Jeff Stanton and take over that spot.
And oh, nice move on the inside by Jeff Stanton. Just takes the line away, and not a whole lot Dowd could do.
Look at this, retaliation. Stanton wants Button back, and he's got him. That's impressive for Stanton, demoralizing for Butts.
Well, it's tough for LaRocco right here. I mean, he's got to take different lines and do things. You saw him just case that plateau there. Here he takes a look up the inside. The same thing Stanton did to Dowd. Nice move.
Here comes Mike LaRocco. Number 7 is on the move at Troy, Ohio. Inside. Whoa. He about clipped John Dowd, stuck his foot down to negotiate the corner, pedaled his way right by. Right now, traffic is very much an issue, and picking the right line may be the key, and LaRocco's got that line. Right now, Jeremy McGrath is definitely on cruise control.
Well, he's built up a nice lead, and he can afford to just kind of cruise in, like you said, and he's enjoying this. This is his first 250 Moto National win.
He's acknowledging the cheers of the fans. He is en route to his first National Moto victory. And now we'll be focusing on Moto number 2 because the elusive target, the overall, is going to depend very much on what Mike LaRocco does in the second Moto, I would think, because LaRocco right there in third is in position to retaliate in Moto number 2. There's the rest of the top 10, and it's time to go trackside with Art Ekman and hear from the happy Jeremy McGrath.
Jeremy, congratulations. It must be a tremendous feeling to win your first outdoor national moto.
Yeah, it's a tremendous tiring feeling. I mean, this stuff is really hard, and I'm really stoked on my first national win. No breaks for me. I got the whole shot lid from start to finish, and hopefully that's just the beginning of what's gonna come in the future here. Next year I plan on giving it 100% the whole year into this plan, and I want to see what I can do.
All right, back here at Kenworthy Motocross Park, set for the Moto 2 action. KK Motorcycle Supply, Dunlop Tires, F&S Racing, bringing us all the excitement. The charge is on. Who's going to get to the first turn first? Nah, it's not going to be Mike LaRocco. He's trapped on the outside, number 7, losing ground as 34 Jimmy Button gets the break. There you saw that outside line work because Button had more momentum. made a longer jump out of it and was able to keep Kyle Lewis at bay, but Stanton slices up through the inside, goes all the way to the lead.
That was nice. That was really nice. Well, he just he planned that.
You're watching 4th, 5th, and 6th. A glimpse of Kyle Lewis in 3rd, number 53. McGrath is 4th. Antonez is 5th. Oh, and John Dowd just about let it get away. Now dives inside Antonez. Ooh, pushes Antonez to the outside, and Buddy goes down. Jeremy McGrath and Honda have scored a moto victory. Here's a challenge for the pass, and he's got it. Jeremy McGrath around Jimmy Button and into 2nd spot.
Well, Jeremy went off that plateau before this corner way on the outside and squared across, and as soon as Jimmy drifted wide, Jeremy had the line right up the inside. It was nice. He planned that all along.
But it's going to take a come-from-behind effort here today. Button looks over, sees him. That was inevitable.
Yeah.
And there is the pass, and will LaRocco make it stick? Boy, he did it with authority. Championship were on the line. I'm not sure they do it for a race victory. Meanwhile, it's all moot unless LaRocco passes Stanton, and LaRocco does just that and passed him with authority. There was no doubt about that.
Well, he just moved right up the inside, and you know, there wasn't a whole lot Jeff could do about it.
And Mike LaRocco putting on a riding clinic now. You can see out of the corner of your eye the checkered flag waiting just around the next bend. There it is. And you see LaRocco looking back over his shoulder. He wants to see who's going to get 2nd, because that's going to determine it. There's the reaction. He sees Stanton come home 2nd in the moto, and he knows that that gives him the overall win. McGrath will finish 3rd in the moto. There's the rest of your top 10 as we go trackside and hear from the happy winner.
It's nice not to be so far back as you were in the first moto, but another great win for you, Mike.
Yeah, actually I got off to a real good start and I got bumped out in the first turn, so you know, I lost pretty much all the places I had to have a good start, but you know, things went well. I felt good that moto, and I went on and did what I had to do.
So the overall belongs to LaRocco. McGrath will settle for 2nd. Couldn't get around Jeff Stanton in the 2nd moto. Here's the rest of the top 10. All right, Jeremy 2nd overall today. LaRocco a big leader in the championship points. This is the motocross course in Millville, Minnesota. It is sandy, it is treacherous, it is difficult, and it is a place filled with memories for at least 2 of us on the television program. It was here in 1983 that David Bailey wrapped up the 250 National Championship.
Well, there's going to be a lot of hills here, a lot of trees and shade, a lot of humidity. I remember it being very hot here, and there's a couple of tough sections out there, a lot of sand in certain spots.
Field waiting for the drop of the gate. And we're underway. Pretty good start for Dowd as they head for turn 1. He's going to have the advantage. John Dowd lays that Yamaha in there on the inside of Mike LaRocco. McGrath, number 2, is right with them. So you've got 3 different brands out front as they head around the turn and look for that whoop-de-doo section for the first time. Big traffic jam behind them. How scary is it knowing you got to go through there with the traffic?
Well, you see how fast these guys are going. They're 3rd gear wide open in a full slide. Here they come into the whoop section. That's the tricky part, because this is where guys get out of control. And in the first lap, when everyone's bunched up like that, boy, you're really looking out for everybody else, not only what you're doing.
In any case, it's a great 3-rider battle, probably the best position battle we've seen this year up front at an AMA National. This is good racing.
It's great racing, and it's difficult for McGrath right here, because right there you see if he tries to go wide and take a different line, then LaRocco's able to. Oh, there it is. There it happens again. See,
LaRocco has something for the Yamaha of John Dowd, who's looking for his 2nd national championship victory. Dowd goes a little wide this time. LaRocco looking up the inside. Look out. Door is open. LaRocco is through.
It's nice for him to win, but it's fairly boring, I would imagine, after a while. And just to eliminate the possibility of something weird happening and getting hurt, I mean, he probably wants to put this behind him and just get it over with and finally be the champion.
He has certainly provided himself lots of challenges in coming from the back to most of his wins this year, but that one was comparatively easy. Dowd held on for a solid 2nd. McGrath, Stanton, and Ward rounding out your top 5. There's the rest of the top 10 as we go trackside to Art Ekman, who's with the moto winner.
Well, Mike, with the new goatee, you might have a new competitor on the scene here. John held you back for quite a while.
Yeah, John rode a good race. You know, he got out early and was running a good pace. I myself was just watching him. I really didn't want to do anything stupid, and you know, he was running some good lines, and we were staying up front, so I just waited to make my move.
About set for the start of the second moto of round 9 of the AMA National Motocross Championship Series. Nice and cool and a bit overcast here in Minnesota. Great day for racing as the gate drops and the charge is on for turn 1. And here comes that Yamaha again. Number 16, John Dowd. Grabs another hole shot, tangle in the back. Oh, there's number 7, Mike LaRocco, tangled up in the first turn. Well, he's going to feel at home back there. There were about 3 guys behind him, which would make him 37. Going to turn 2 as John Dowd leads it up front. Number 10, Brian Swink, jumps into the number 2 position on the Suzuki. LaRocco is making an amazing charge through the traffic. Let's see if we can pick up here. That would be, I think, 14th, 15th, maybe 16th spot. We got just a glimpse of number 7, and he has annihilated half of this field in a little more than half a lap. Here's the second and third place battle. The 2 Michiganders, Brian Swink and Jeff Stanton. It's a great battle raging for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Number 34 is Jimmy Button. He is 4th. And side by side for 5th, number 2, Jeremy McGrath, making the pass on number 11, Larry Ward. Now under pressure from his long, tall teammate, Jimmy Button, number 34. But they're both getting some heat from number 2, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath's going to try to get them both at once. No, I don't think so. But he's got Button, and he's working on Swink. When you get these two together side by side for this long, you kind of wait for the sparks to start to fly. Swink hanging on as McGrath makes attack after attack, pulls by again, and regains that spot. Looks back over his shoulder as if to say, hey, I can do this anytime I want. And then roosts away from Swink, and that looks like that might be the pass he'll make stick. Here comes Mike LaRocco, number 7. After the bad start, he has caught Brian Swink, and I got a feeling this isn't going to take long. Swink moves over and leaves him a half-mile of racetrack to run right through. LaRocco wastes no time reeling in McGrath. He wants to go all the way to the front. Oh, he's fast through this section. He's going to ride right by Jeremy McGrath. The racetrack just gets very, very busy when you start running the kind of lap times that Mike LaRocco runs, and he just blitzes by Stanton. Jeff, well, Jeff will come back along the outside, but that's kind of a half-hearted effort just to let Mike know that, yeah, there was a day when I could have come back around you and we could have had a pretty good race out of this, but those days are gone. But believe me, these fans are getting their money's worth here today. John Dowd looking for his 2nd national victory of his career. The first came at Hangtown in 1991 in the mud. And the second one will come right here if he can just keep LaRocco at bay for a couple of corners. He's got it made. He's going to win this thing by upping the pace when it mattered most in the last quarter of a lap. John Dowd, hands and feet in the air, has won it. Big Brian Barry is there with the bear hug. The Team Yamaha, Boyce and Penske crew, all there celebrating, and the crowd on their feet for John Dowd. Boy, he is pumped. It's going to be fun hearing from him in just a moment. To review the official results, it's Dowd over LaRocco in the second moto. McGrath, Stanton, and Button, your top 5. Ward, Dubach, Swink, Lewis, and Neese, the top 10. And here's Art Ekman with the winner, John Dowd.
Oh, man.
Well, now's not the time to be speechless, John, you realize.
Oh, no, I'm so happy. I didn't think it could be done. I guess, I don't know, did Mike get a bad start or something?
Mike got a bad start, but there were a lot of fast runners in between, but he closed the gap pretty fast on you.
Yeah, I guess that was the break I needed, I guess. You know, I got another good start, and I mean, the bike is running excellent. Everything's working great today, and I don't know, I was just kind of riding around trying not to think about the guys behind me, and I seen him coming at the end, though. I mean, I was like, oh, no, and I was pushing my hardest.
Hard not to be happy for him. He says it's the happiest day of his life as he beats Mike LaRocco and answers the question that Art Ekman raised earlier. Who can beat Mike LaRocco in 1994?
The American Motorcyclist Association keeps the fun in motorcycling with benefits, activities, and by protecting your right to ride. For information, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN.
Series moves on to Washougal, Washington. There is just one man with a lock on this title.
Mike, you actually could wrap it up with a top finish in one moto because you only need a 10th in one moto and 11th in another to gain those 21 points. Are you racing out there not to make a mistake today? Is there a little bit of extra nerve?
I don't think any more than there has been the last few weeks. I've been just out there hoping not to get hurt and, hoping I have enough luck to stay in it. So, today with being able to have enough points to, that I could wrap it up, I'm going to go out there and try and get that over with so I can just race and not have to worry about anything.
Mike LaRocco looking for no surprises today here at Washougal.
On a day that has LaRocco written all over it, a big crowd fills the forest. So we're ready for the drop of the gate. What do you think? Does LaRocco go for it on the start, David?
Oh, I think so. He wants to get out of here and make this thing just, take the least amount of time as possible. If he can just go out the second moto and enjoy himself, be a lot better.
And to turn one, big wide sweeping turn. And jumping out front is McGrath with Larry Ward on his tail. Spud Walters has got the best start we've seen all year. But up front, it is a two-man battle, and McGrath really looks sharp here. Take a look at the course on which they do battle here. Pretty twisty.
Well, they got a few new twists and turns since I've raced here, but one thing you can see already is that nice dark loam, lots of hills, lots of trees, and a new starting area. It's been moved up quite a bit, I think, to eliminate that little traffic jam they used to have in the first few corners.
Well, Jeremy's got them all behind him early on here. Take a look at the early running order. There's Ward, chased by number 101. Now that is Talon Boland, who is over here from the GP Wars. We're looking for Mike LaRocco, who's got a bad start. Here comes number 7. Now what'd you make him there? About 10th or 11th, I guess, Bailey? And number 5, Jeff Stanton. And he is under pressure for second spot. Boland just ran her in and blocked him and squared the corner off and dropped Larry to third. And in the meantime, we got a pretty good dice going on right here between Mike. Ooh, look out. Healy is in trouble. Mike Healy right in front of Mike LaRocco. Got it all wrong and goes crashing into the fence.
Well, the interesting thing about, there he goes, right up the inside. That's the same place that Boland made that move. Now we gotta warn Larry about that outside line.
Put a little sign up there going into the corner. Says cover the inside. Boland holds on very nicely. He's doing a good job here under an awful lot of pressure.
Oh,
there's a mistake.
There.
I guess we agree on that. That was a mistake for sure. Jeremy McGrath takes the checkered flag over LaRocco, Voland, Ward, and Swink. Rounding out your top 5. We'll go ahead and run them down through 10. It is over. The championship is a lock. And with the story, let's go to Art Ekman.
Mike, you always want to win regardless, but when you look back at this moto, all you're going to remember is you captured the 250 seasonal crown.
Yeah, I think so. Eventually I will, but right now I'm kind of mad about how I started out the moto. But, I got a bad start, so I rode a little cautious the first half of the race. And, fortunate for me, I got the points I needed, and I no longer have to worry about anything.
Ah, look at Mom.
Number 1, finally.
Just go on up there and stop.
We're back for the second moto here at Washougal. Dave Despain and David Bailey as we await the drop of the gate here. A bit of an overcast up in the Pacific Northwest. Perfect day for racing and a great racetrack. Gate is down and the charge to turn 1, and let's see who's going to get there first. LaRocco had a pretty good start up on the outside, but now a big tangle in the back of the pack, and it looks like the guy who's going to get out there first is John Dowd, number 16 with 26 Todd DeHoop right alongside. And what looked like a hole shot for LaRocco didn't hold up, but that's a better than average start for Mike. Big wide swoop around the outside by Ward. That's a fast line, and let's see who's going to get to the jump first. It will be Ward with the pass. The Nolene Sizzler Yamaha. LaRocco is up there putting the pressure on Michael Craig. In fact, he's alongside, and he's going to make that pass for third. You called it. When he's ready to go, he comes up and lets you know he's ready to go.
Easy, and he's making it look easy now. And as you see, he's going inside, outside. He just puts a lot of pressure. And there, Dowd, there was nothing he could do. He's coming up the hill as fast as he can, and all of a sudden he goes into the corner, and LaRocco's in his way. Well,
meanwhile, look at this. LaRocco going after the lead. He cuts under Ward. He gobbled up that interval in a big hurry. and LaRocco has gone through to take the lead. Same story. It's all a matter of pace. Here's McGrath around that outside. He's made that work before. He makes it work again. Jeremy McGrath rides the rail and takes third spot. I think what we have here is a one-lap celebration of a championship. How about LaRocco? You don't see him show off very much. He's obviously pumped about this whole deal.
Get him and just start working on that Supercross. That's the only thing that remains, and it looks like he could probably win it. He ended up second this year, and seems destined to.
Mike LaRocco t-shirts will be a hot-selling item. Among this group of loyal fans, they have gathered for the coronation of the new champion. As we take a look at the second moto results, it was LaRocco the winner. McGrath got by Ward late. Dowd and Craig rounding out your top 5. And as you take a look at the rest of the top 10, let's go to Art Ekman with the new 250 champ.
Well, Mike, do you feel like a champion right now?
I feel a lot better now that I've won, so I'll be able to be a little happier about it.
Well, it's a great way to pack your suitcase up and leave this beautiful state of Washington, isn't it?
Yeah, it was started off kind of a mediocre day for me, but the first moto I got done what I had to do, and took about a lot of pressure off me, and I just went on and had fun the second round.
Good run today for Ward. Meanwhile, in terms of points, well, LaRocco's put it away. The battle is for second, and McGrath moved within 4 on the strength of today's performance. The celebration, the champagne, and all the honors that go with being the champion, and a worthy champion he is, too.
Sure is. He's worked hard for this, and he's gotten stronger and stronger in the Supercross season as well, too. It's going to be interesting to see how this confidence affects his riding next year, indoors and out.
LaRocco takes home the championship in front of the adoring Washougal fans. He will carry the #1 plate. There is a substantial threat of rain in upstate New York, but it has not kept the crowds away from Broome Tioga Motocross Park, the next to last round of the AMA National Motocross Series.
Dave, this place is kind of a combination between Unadilla and Washougal. It's got the soil like Unadilla and the layout and the uphills and downhills, a lot of corners, a lot of off-cambers, much like we saw last week at Washougal.
At Binghamton, New York, the top 10 of the points have chosen their starting spots on the gate. We're just about ready for the drop of that gate and the start of the first of 2 motos to pay championship points here today. That covered starting area there is nice when the rain pours down. So far, the rain has held off. The gate is down, and moto #1 is underway in front of an estimated 9,000 fans. Larry Brooks, number 31, has a hole shot. John Dowd got a great start. Also out quickly, number 26, Todd DeHoop. Whoa, and Brooks just about bailed off. A bit of a flying W there gives Dowd the opening. Boy, it doesn't take much when the action is this tight. And look at this, DeHoop with a double jump, leaps past John Dowd and into the lead. As DeHoop grabs the lead, right on his rear wheel is Dowd. Stanton is there. Swink is in good shape, and Jimmy Button rides in the 5th spot.
And here goes Stanton. He gets around Dowd. Well, it's winding down his career. He's probably wanting to win one pretty bad. Here's a great opportunity.
Stanton with a lot of motivation. LaRocco with a bad start as usual. Look at Dowd. He comes elbowing back under the 6-time champion Stanton. Says, I'll give you that spot for a moment, but not for long. Whoa, Stanton in trouble. Off the racetrack into the woods. Jeff Stanton turned right. The course took a left. Second place has become a battle between John Dowd and number 10, Brian Swink. He's the challenger. Swink will double that jump, you betcha. Dowd doesn't like that jump, apparently. That's twice he has surrendered a position here. Although in this case, he may get it back. Swink up alongside. Oh, stalls out. So far, John Dowd has withstood all comers. In fact, he has come back to pass number 26, Todd DeHoop. And you got to believe the way Swink is attacking that he's going to be able to pull off this pass.
Well, he just comes down the inside right there and takes the line away. That was a nice move.
In any case, he has been caught by LaRocco, and this looks like it'll be duck soup for the champ. Here's that double, and he just jumps right up alongside Button and says, Jimmy, I'm sorry, friend, I'm not going to be able to wait long for you. Jack Skutnik, the promoter here, hoping the same. He's really packed in the crowd. He'd hate to see all his friends and fans get wet. Here comes the pass. LaRocco up the inside. No retaliation from Michael Craig. He knew that was coming. John Dowd from Connecticut comes home to New England and fist in the air wins the first moto handily. And his fans from across the state line, the folks who watched him come up through the ranks in the local races around this neck of the woods, to be very, very proud of this performance indeed. Results show Dowd the winner, Swink second, LaRocco with an impressive charge came to third. Button got back around Craig, Ward, McGrath, Brooks, DEHOOP, and Dubach round out the top 10. Here's Art with the winner.
John, what a great way to take a bite, a big bite, for that second place finish.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Jeremy, but I guess I couldn't do any better than that, so I'm really happy. That's going to help me out a lot in the points chase.
From Binghamton, New York, AMA National Motocross action. Second moto, Dave Despain, David Bailey, and Art Ekman waiting for the start. And there it is. Charge is on. Who's going to get the whole shot? Hey, McGrath's out of there like a rocket ship. Looks like a supercross. We've got somebody down in the first turn. McGrath goes for it early. Ward has a good start. Into second spot is that Swink, I believe, and back there in the back of the pack, it looks like Kyle Lewis. For Jeremy McGrath, tops in the stadiums. Number 16, John Dowd, the best here today. Number 5, Jeff Stanton, about to end up one of the all-time great careers with 6 championships. Number 5 has just made the pass. John Dowd falls to third. Stanton is on the move. Well, I tell you, he came up and nerfed McGrath a little bit. I may be old, I may be quitting, but I'm still on top of you, kid, so you better look out. And McGrath is going to give him the spot. Jeremy moved over, looked back, said, Jeff, I don't think I want to argue with you at the moment. And Jeff Stanton goes to the lead. Big cheer from the Binghamton fans. Now Jeremy tries a little retaliation, decides to make a race out of it. Well, of course, the overall is what he would like. One more national victory. There's the double by McGrath. He got his courage cranked up a couple laps ago and comes back around Stanton. McGrath lets Stanton by. John Dowd, meanwhile, says there's way too much red up front. Brings his Yamaha into contention right alongside Stanton. He's going to make the pass. Stanton slowed down a little bit there. McGrath pulled away. I wonder if Stanton's going to be able, well, yeah, indeed. Here he comes right back. He's in the thick of this. They both catch McGrath. A terrific scrap up front. Larry Ward is in the thick of it. And just in the back, we get a glimpse of the old shark himself, Mike LaRocco. Now the playing field is level once again, and they both focus on the bigger issue, which is Jeremy McGrath. And look at that pass up the hill. Jeff Stanton, big handful of throttle, says, hey, I'm a 6-time champion, and I still got some left. Stanton takes the lead. This has been one of the best AMA Nationals of the year. It is a terrific battle up front as Jeff Stanton leads. Ooh, and Jeremy McGrath just came up short on that double jump, and looking back over his shoulder, I think he did a Ward. As LaRocco goes into second spot, Jeremy McGrath is hurt.
Well, yeah, he shut the door nice, though. I mean, he can't, what's going on here? Boy.
Oh, LaRocco's off. Mike LaRocco got offline, stuck the front wheel in the loose stuff at the edge of the racetrack.
Because there's been a lot of people, LaRocco's gone. I think that's probably what he's wondering.
Yeah.
He probably feels a lot more threatened by LaRocco than he does Dowd, even though Dowd just passed him. But now he knows that it's just between he and Dowd.
Stanton does not look quite so sharp.
Oh, yes, he does. Look at that, down the inside. Boy, it was pretty clean, but it was aggressive. I like this. I'd like to see Stanton ride this way. I think he's inspired and probably surprising himself right now.
The fans are on their feet, fists in the air, just a couple of turns from home. John Dowd sweeps Broome Tioga with 2 victories in front of the home fans. He is a very, very happy young man. And I'll tell you what, Larry Ward did a great job here today. Coming back in the second moto, he is first to congratulate the winner, because in his heart, he feels both those guys are privateers. The winner, John Dowd, riding the factory Yamaha the last 3 or 4 races. Ward second, Stanton, Button, McGrath. Your top 5. As you take a look at the rest of the top 10, let's go to Art Ekman with the winner.
Well, John, you ought to have all the races in New England, I think.
Shit, geez, this place is great. There's just so many people here today, and they were all so loud and everything, and this is just the best.
You were able to pull a little lead, but then some lappers got in the way, and things really tightened up. I know your crew started biting their fingernails.
Yeah, it got a little tight at the end there. I didn't even know who it was behind me, but I just knew it was somebody because the lapper slowed me a little, and it kind of broke my concentration. I was kind of making some mistakes and stuff. So I was just trying my damnedest to hold on for the finish line.
Emotional attachment between the fan and the athlete. It's one of the big appeals of sport. Dowd, the overall winner from Ward here today. It is an historic day in American motocross at Steel City, USA. The last race of the year, the last race in the career of Jeff Stanton.
Like we've seen all year, we're going to see a lot more jumps today. The difference with this track is it's really fast. It reminds me a little bit of Mount Morris with the off-cambers and the big sweepers, and it's going to get very dry out there, and once the topsoil wears off, it's going to be hard packed.
National of the year about to start. David, what kind of emotions surround the last race? Are you happy to see it come or sad?
Well, both. I mean, there's a lot of things that are interesting today. One is there's Kiedrowski. You get a look at him. This is his first ride since he broke his hand. It's Stanton's last ride. You got a battle between McGrath and Dowd for second in the series.
Gate is down. Race is underway. And look who's got a great start. Mike LaRocco up the inside. Laurel Mountain Helicopter Services providing us a great view of the action. Mike Sigmund up top doing the flying, but the guy flying at ground level is LaRocco.
Look at this, McGrath up the inside. Now they're coming up to that Supercross-like section, and Lewis clears that first section of doubles, but McGrath knows that if he goes slow over the first ones, he can time it better and get up over the top, makes the pass.
Stanton carried a lot of momentum to that jump and just leapt right by Larry Brooks. Looks like the Jeff Stanton of old. The fact that he's been unable to win a national this year, I'm sure, is disappointing. But as he makes the pass on Kyle Lewis, this is a pretty impressive ride. Very aggressive. Mike LaRocco has checked out. He got the whole shot. He hasn't seen or heard from anybody since, and that's the way you like to play this game. Here he is. Jeremy McGrath is some 10 to 11 seconds back.
You know, I thought that with McGrath being up front like he was in the beginning, possibly we're going to see the battle that we've been waiting for, but didn't happen.
Checkered flag falls on Mike LaRocco. He has 6 national victories overall. In 11 races this year, he's won the first moto here from McGrath, Kiedrowski, Button, and Stanton. And as you take a look at the rest of the top 10, we'll go trackside and hear from the newly crowned 250 champion.
Well, Mike, I know you worked just as hard this week as you would any week, even before you clinched the title. You came out here and you got exactly what you wanted, the whole shot.
Yeah, definitely. On this track here, it's really hard to pass. So, you know, I told myself I'm going to win this last race. I need to get out front and, you know, ride my own race.
Well, you talk about dreams come true. If every championship is a dream come true, consider number 7 has 2, number 5 has 6, number 2 has 2, and number 1 has 4. That's 14 championships, handlebar to handlebar, on the starting gate here at Steel City. That gate is down. The final moto of the career of number 5, Jeff Stanton, is underway. Into the first turn. LaRocco's got another great start. They move to turn 2. Stanton is into second. Whoa, and he's tangled with another rider and off the racetrack. I think that was Swink that forced Stanton off the track, and look at this. He's hung up in the banners as Jeremy McGrath works from second spot. Same hope we had for the first moto.
Here they come up to this timing section. Dowd jumps the first section. Looks like Stanton's going to get the upper hand, because if you wait through that first section of doubles, you're able to time it up to the top, and you have the inside there. He makes another clean pass.
Swink, meanwhile, always tends to look like he's somewhere close to the razor edge of control, but he's got a pretty good moto going here with third spot. Fifth spot, Mike Kiedrowski returning to action from the injury that he suffered earlier in the year, riding the last race of the year in anticipation of the World Team Motocross Championships. The battle is still for 4th, and Kiedrowski is on the move. He is around Jimmy Button, the reigning 250 national champion, in the final moto of the season. Meanwhile, LaRocco on the final lap and still on cruise control. There's the checkered flag for LaRocco. LaRocco has won the race from McGrath, Swink, Kiedrowski, and Button. You take a look at the rest of the top 10 as we go trackside. Art Ekman standing by with the winner, Mike LaRocco.
Congratulations on your 7th overall victory of the season. A truly great championship year for you, Mike. And as you savor the future, which is a bright one, we've seen a great one retire here today, and I know you have your thoughts about it.
Yeah, Jeff's a great guy. You know, I known him for a long time. You know, growing up through the amateur ranks. He helped me out a lot, and I'm sad to see him go. But he was a great rider, and I know he did what he wanted to do, and he got out safe, and I'm happy for him.
Today, one of the glorious moments of your career, 2 hole shots and 2 victories to end the season.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of mad all week over last week's performance, so I decided to get out front this week and ride my own race and ride smooth and don't fall.
Soaked with champagne, sprayed by his wife at the finish line, Jeff Stanton is taking a final tour of the track here. Be some great souvenirs for the fans. How'd you like to have that pair of goggles? Those will be worth a few bucks. But the thing I think of real value here, the adulation of the motocross fans for one of the all-time great heroes. Jeff Stanton's career is over. It ended here this afternoon, perhaps not as spectacularly as he would have liked with a 6th place finish. But again, people will not remember what happened here today. They will remember the 6 championships, all the victories, but this will be remembered as a celebration of the career of this guy. Somebody came up with an American flag for one of the great riders in the history of American motocross. And we're going to go down trackside now. There will be a bit of a post-race celebration and party, and let's see if we can eavesdrop on that.
First things first, Jeff Stanton has just made his last orbit around Steel City, USA as an AMA national contender. And Jeff, it's been a great career. Maybe perhaps not the greatest last season, but it has been definitely a great career, and you certainly are a son of Steel City, USA.
Thanks a lot. I was just thinking about it, going around that last few laps there, and I guess most importantly, I'm walking away from the sport, pretty much uninjured. Haven't had any injuries my whole career. Not too many people can say that. Unfortunately, Rick Johnson went out and a few guys went out, but I've been here through the good and the bad, and it's just time for me to step on out and let everybody else take control of all these race courses that I've captured throughout the great years, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get Team Honda back up on top and be actively involved in racing for the next few years.
A lot of emotions, good and bad, happy and sad, from Jeff Stanton, I'm sure the entire family. And the family goes all the way back to all of the folks from the Honda Riders Club of America. A lot of memories in your tenure as a national champion.
Yeah, it's a lot of great memories. Everybody says, "Oh, can you pinpoint one?" Hell, 8 years has been great. And I guess I can't say enough for, of course, American Honda and all the riders themselves for being true competitors, and some of them good friends, and all the fans. There's just a million people I could thank, but obviously it'd take me all day. So just thanks everybody. I guess I'm speaking as an individual to every individual out there. Thanks so much for everything, and those people that have helped me and those competitors that I've raced against know who they are, and I can't thank them enough.
It is an emotional ending to our first full season of National Motocross here on ESPN. Mike Kiedrowski comes up to offer his congratulations to Jeff Stanton. Hey, we've enjoyed sharing the booth with you, David Bailey, and this is quite a way to wrap up the year.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. It's been real exciting to be here in the booth and call the action and on a sport that I love so much. I wish I would have had the opportunity to race with Jeff.
In the history of motocross, his achievements will rank him among the all-time greats. Double champion, Supercross and 250 National 3 times, 89, 90, and 92. Jeff Stanton views the world through the eyes of a champion.
Four corners, and Johnson in the number 2 position will see his win streak come to an end. Here comes Stanton, and the checkered flag is his. Jeff Stanton takes the win in Atlanta. Round number 6. Johnson's win streak ending at 5. And here we go. The white flag is out. Let's see what happens. Stanton goes to the inside. Jeff Ward jumped right over the top of Jeff Stanton. Ward with a hard drive out of that corner. Caught the lip of that jump. Stanton tried to dive underneath, and Ward went over the top of him. And I was right. Here comes Stanton. He is trying a last-ditch effort on this last lap of round 10 in Texas Stadium. He's moved up now to within a bike length. He's going to try to dive underneath, and he does. He rammed Jeff Ward. Stanton rammed Ward, the two of them side by side. Look at that. They bumped in midair. Ward almost fell off the bike. Now Stanton takes a clear-cut lead around that corner, and he almost went down. Jeff Stanton has taken over the number 1 position. He's now going to put a lap rider between himself and Stanton. Come out of that tunnel jump. He nailed it off the top of that big jump. His bike shot up in the air, and that's going to give the win to Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward is going to take the win. What an unbelievable sequence of events. I have never seen a lap of Supercross racing that exciting.
I feel well about the season. A few riders got hurt this year in the '89 season, but I came off with the championship. With the riders getting hurt, that's all a part of the race, and it feels real good inside for me to win it. A lot of riders go out and try to win the Supercross championship, and I accomplished that this year.
Stanton now takes an inside line. Stanton squared it off at the bottom. He grabbed a handful of throttle, and he may have gotten by. He did. Going up through the peristyles, one of the more unique obstacles in Supercross racing at this LA Coliseum. Danny Bentley frantically signaling to lap riders, get out of my man's way. And his man is Jeff Stanton, number 2, who is less than a lap away from a 3rd Supercross champion.
Well, the white flag is out, signifying 1 lap remaining, and Dave, the fat lady, is about to sing.
I would not have predicted it. I thought that Stanton, as I said before, had given up on this championship when he was beaten, and beaten rather soundly in the next to last series race. I thought Bradshaw had what it took. When it came down to the last race of the year, it was Stanton who reached in.
Seen through the eyes of a champion, the past is a scrapbook of racing heroics. Ahead looms the final race of a great career.